YouTube, how the heck you doing? This is Corey here as Watcher of Realms. We are back with another Guild v Guild video. So let's go ahead and showcase it. How did we do? I think we went like 6-2 or something like that. So decent amount of things to work with. We also had a lot of defenses, but I'm kind of going to hold off on those a little bit. So let's just go straight to the attacks. The first one is going to be against a Nightmare comp. So this is a little bit weird because they're trying to go ahead and run a Vortex, which is not really that good when it comes to these Nightmare comps. Like, yes, it does go ahead and give you a shield, which is nice, right? Like, getting that shield gives the arrogance a little bit more sustainability, also helps the Wukong, because a lot of the times the dog would just go ahead and take out Wukong or take out arrogance, but it's really just not good. This version of the Nightmare setup is not the best overall. So first and foremost, we just do the normal thing, right? Which is we go ahead, drop the tank, then we drop the Fool. The whole purpose of the Fool is to go ahead and give the tank some more sustainability. And then the next step is we drop the second tank here. And at this point, we're looking really good, even though they're running an Ajax, which is going to give that magic damage, which our tanks are going to be a little bit weak to. It's not that big of a deal. Typically, you'll also see like a hot set here, which is why the double tank strategy is usually the best one, because most people aren't going to go ahead and drop an arrogance in this particular tile because he misses out on dealing damage to the arrogance tile right here, right? But that's just how they choose to go and set this up. So we do lose one of the tanks, but that's not that bad. We're already setting up the double healers to go ahead and give some sustain furthermore to this unit. And then we start with the double necros right about now. We're going to drop them. So at this point, the swarm is kind of beginning to take hold. We're going to start spawning up the units here, and we're going to wait for a 10 cost. And once we get to 10 cost, we're going to do the normal thing, which is drop the double dogs and relatively easily pass through here. Because even though Ajax is ulting and he's doing a really good job of taking out our tank, just because these tanks are very weak to magic damage, the Fool is doing well, and then also our healer is also kind of keeping our tank alive by like the skin of his teeth. And at this point, we're great, right? We are right about to have that 10 cost. Our units are starting to push through. Wukong might even ult, but it doesn't matter. He's going to target the skeleton, and he does. And then we pass through with the double dogs right about now as they go through. Arrogance ults, none of this matters. Ultimately, none of this matters because we're spawning up. Our units are going to end it right there. And it was interesting because the dog was in the portal, but just didn't classify it as a dog that was through. But super simple. Vortex is not good for these Nightmare comms. He's nice, but that placement for Nightmare comms is just not that good. Unfortunately, it used to be okay, and then it was just quickly blown out of proportion as to how easy it is to beat it. So this is going to be the next team. This is going to be another Nightmare team. This is typically the standard run, but this is a little bit different because this is actually a keep. So the first thing we go ahead and see, this is the setup. So we know that there's not really a good revive. Also, I think they forgot to, put a Bastion ring on this unit here, which would have made it a little bit different, but not too much. So the first thing we see that Ezreal's right here. So he's going to go ahead and bail out one unit based off his massive, basically it's like a global heal. He's going to bail out one unit. So if we're able to go ahead and chunk out Todor and Wukong, we just might even go ahead and snipe Wukong straight out, and we're going to be feeling really, really comfortable after that. So we go ahead, we drop the double mages, right? They're going to go ahead and hit Todor right when they get to about this spot. There we go. And they actually go ahead and just knock Wukong straight out. Ezreal tries to heal them, but it doesn't work. And here's one thing that's a very important interaction, which I actually want to highlight again if I can. So we're going to go ahead, just kind of triple speed this. They're going to hit right here. They're going to proc the passives on everybody here, or the death. All right, I want to slow this down. So here's the interaction. Once Todor actually goes down, every single unit in the game is going to move targets to the next set. So they lock on to these two units because Todor is down. And as he's down, he is invulnerable to damage. Like, he takes no damage. And because of that, every unit is going to swap over. They actually act like he is not on the map. And so that's the perfect opportunity to go ahead and take advantage of it and really just do a substantial amount of damage to the backline and end this round. Really, really simple. So with Todor, he's the only unit that kind of forces that mechanic, because Brokir doesn't do it, because you can still hit Brokir even when he's in his passive. You'll just do no damage. Regulus is the same thing. The reason being is because they have a unyielding ability, right? Where they just take no damage. Todor has a revive. So keep that in mind moving forward. That's the main difference between Todor, his revive, versus Regulus's unyielding, and versus Brokir's unyielding, right? They don't die, right? They also don't kind of go ahead and max HP again. They just go into an unyielding state. Unless, you know, you have them A5. That's a little bit different. But Todor has a revive. All right, the next one, let's go ahead and see kind of what we do here. That was the attack. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is one. So this is another keep. This is another nightmare keep. I think this is the first time I've ever used this demon soldier, the Gear Raid 1 captain, and I got lucky, right? This attack is actually very, very close. So the first things first, we go ahead and drop the Knight of Destruction. The reason why we drop him is because we see that there's an Ajax here. And honestly speaking, the Knight of Destruction is deceptively tanky. Like, he actually tanks really, really well when it comes to these Nightmare units. You saw him really, really popular in Season 6 because you go ahead and use the Knight of Destruction, then Axes, then Healer, and you'd pretty much bait out the Wukong ult because he's actually going to tank you really well. Like, let's go ahead and watch this here. He tanks Ajax. He tanks Wukong. Super easy. And then he starts dealing a good chunk of damage, and this is where Carnelian kind of hurts because she's going to keep these units at 30% HP, which is perfect because his job is to get them low because he deals a decent chunk of damage, and the axes are going to go ahead and clear it up. So we go ahead, we drop the axes, the healers here, and then we drop the Scalekin captain. I don't know his official name, my bad. But he goes ahead and makes the units take a little bit more damage, but they also deal more damage as well, if I remember this 100% correctly. Also, he's going to go ahead and give a decent amount of tankiness as he goes ahead and crashes into these units here. So we're looking really good. We go ahead and proc Todor passive, and that's our signal to go, 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 right? We drop the axes and the healer next. And the warrior is actually tanking really well. Like, all these units are still alive, even though they're kind of getting taken down a little bit low. The Knight of Destruction that we dropped way earlier is still here. He just went down. And he's keeping Todor low, which is awesome for us because now we're enraged. He goes ahead and gives the passive to us, and our axes are going to absolutely just chunk out these units now. It's a little bit close because Carnelian is doing work, and we're also getting stunned up a bit. But we're looking really comfortable at this position here. Our healer's going to start healing. That might even be A5 Todor, because I feel like he just revived twice. And here we go. We send the dogs through. And this is perfect because they start putting pressure on Wukong. Wukong is low. They go ahead and eat his attack. They crash through. Our warrior that we dropped here is still alive, right? So we actually get pretty good luck on that being successful. I do think we got bad RNG though on the Todor stuns, but overall, right, we pushed through. All right, the next one, let's go ahead and see, because I think I lost the next one. I wouldn't be surprised. I usually go on like a 4-win streak and then a 4-loss streak every single time. Actually, that's the exaggeration. It's not that bad. I'll lose like 2. Here it is. I actually lose. All right, so let's see what happens here. I think this is yeah, this is funny because this is basically the team that I run. Because I'm unlucky and I don't have Carnelian. But this is okay, interesting. This is a keep. So we kind of run the same strategy. But there's the difference, right? Lily is going to go ahead and revive one of these units here instead of Ezreal, right? Ezreal's not going to really revive. He's going to be a little stop gate. So let's kind of see what happens. All right. We bait out Lily ult. And Wukong is like super tanky. Like super tanky. Honestly, it looks like he's basically in full tank gear. It's insane. And I think that was the difference maker. And it's interesting because that's like a 123k Uridan that's, you know, affiliated with it. So very slight difference. If we were able to go ahead and proc Lily passive, on Wukong, that means that they would have gone ahead and taken out Ajax, and they would have taken out Hatsa, and this would have been a completely different story. So we're close, like very close, but we just didn't quite get to what we were looking for, unfortunately. So we go ahead, drop the double flyers. This is going to be a fail either way. Just a little bit unlucky. So we drop the flyers. The flyers go ahead and tank pretty well, right? I actually think these 2 flyers get through. I think so. So yeah, these flyers are kind of pushing through. They're tanking Ajax, no issues. The dogs are doing a good chunk of damage. And here we are, right? This would have been so good. Like, so good if the mages just took out Wukong, right? And like forced Lily passive, because then Ajax would have been done, and then this would have been a much easier run. But unfortunately, we only get 2 flyers through. It was close, but no cigar. So I can't be mad. I was going on a run. And let's see here. We attacked this one. What is this? This is a cultist team, which is actually interesting. I had a friend ask me if I've seen Xeris be used in Guild v Guild, and I said, yeah, like he gets used. He's actually pretty good, because what he does is he does a really good chunk of damage initially, and the whole purpose of like a cultist team is to stall. So this is kind of just a showcase as to that, right? Xeris, you go ahead, and I drop my Pharaoh Guard. The job of the Pharaoh Guard is to really just tank all of these units up, right? So he's going to waste Xeris ult, because I know Xeris is only good for like 3 or 4 ults. After that, he's like dog water. So the goal is to just bait this all out. Then we go ahead, drop the second Pharaoh Guard. They are under no threat of dying, right? Even though they're getting chunked out, like a little bit from Morgan, they're honestly not going to die. The next step is we're going to go ahead and drop the Infernal Clerk. The reason being for the Infernal Clerk is he goes ahead and gives additional magic resistance to the units that are within his little aura here. And he's also, unfortunately, subject to more damage from like the Arbiter faction, but these are cultists. So we actually are able to go ahead and get the full benefit of him. And then we also drop the healer here to really just stack up the block and give some really good sustain on these units. Doesn't matter if Beelzebub's ulting or whatever. We're getting sustain, we're getting heals, and we've taken up 3 block at this point. Now we've gone ahead and dropped the double Shadowkin warriors or Shadow Warriors. They're going to go ahead and fill out 4 block. And now we're pretty much good to go, right? The dogs should just easily run through here. And also, we're putting so much pressure on Regulus, he might just die. Actually, we go ahead and force his passive. And the dogs are still running through. Even the tanks are running through. So at this point, this is a very simple GG run. Our other set of dogs are also just running through, and Regulus is down. So it's a very simple strategy. You just have to have the BP to go ahead and tank it. Xeris does not help in this situation. He's nice, but there are better replacements for Xeris in this comp. Most definitely better replacements. And then I think there's 2 more. I'm not crazy. Now there's, wow, I did more attacks than I thought I did. What's this loss? Yep. This is the other version of that team, right? With Brokir, who's better than Regulus every day of the week, and then Anora, which is also better than Xeris. Now, this is a little bit tricky, because we go ahead, we drop the tank, then we drop the other tank. Here we go. Then Cleric. But here's the difference, right? Anora actually does damage, right? Anora has that really annoying damage over time ability. And also, they have Ymrit. They have Ymrit. Because these units are getting... Actually, do they? I don't think they have Ymrit. I just think this Anora is like absolutely cracked, because she's just doing damage, right? Our Pharaoh Guard is getting chunked out. He's super low already. And then we're kind of trying to salvage this run with the same strategy. But honestly, Anora is just cycling really quickly with her ult. She's about to have it again. So even though we're going to drop these double Shadow Warriors, right? We're kind of dropping them right into where Anora is. And so, yeah, it's not looking that good. Because Anora is going to go ahead and ult, take out all these units, and we're not really going to be able to put pressure on Brokir and drop the double dogs. It's just not going to work, unfortunately. And also, there's a little bit of trickiness because Brokir does have that passive where he can freeze. So I like this comp a lot. It's very frustrating to go against because it just seems like the Anora was just getting rage like really quickly, which is weird because she doesn't get rage regen in the same way like all the other units do. So we go ahead and I think we just double attack. This is a Paratus Ingrid team. Now this is a little bit of a variation. Everyone is kind of playing around with these teams a little bit. Honestly, for this season, Paratus is just not good. He's really just not good, at least for these towers. Ingrid is the main highlight of this team, right? So Lily's in a bad spot. I get what they were trying to do, but this is super easy to go ahead and drop the double mages, force Lily to proc her passive on Valkyra, and we go ahead and do that. And then the next step is we're good to go. We just go ahead and drop the double Garnet guards because we're going to snipe Lily. And the second we do that, we might not go ahead and take out Paratus, but there's a really good chance that we do. So we drop the double Garnets, and Lily no longer has her ult. She doesn't have her passive. The Garnets are going to get hit by Paratus, but that's fine, right? We proc Regulus ult, and now we're going to swap targets and hit Lily right here. There we go. Goodbye. And then the second they make contact, goodbye. At this point, it is a GG, right? I have to do some things critically wrong to go ahead and lose this. Also, I'm checking to see if Ingrid's A3, right? I'm going to let these units stay here. And I want to see if once she gets to those 5 orbs, does she become supercharged. So we're going to drop a Pharaoh Guard. And then let's see. She's going to hold on to those 3 orbs. She's going to swap to 4. And then we're going to speed this up. Alright, she hits 5 orbs right about now. Now we're going to see if she's A5. She is A5. Or not A5. A3, my bad. So she's going to be supercharged. She's going to do a lot of damage in this time period. But we've taken up 2 blocks. So Regulus only has 2 blocks remaining. And we're going to drop the 6 dogs once Ingrid is done with her little tirade of hits here. So here we go. She's stacked up ones. I'm also trying to see if I can take out Regulus. Because as long as she's not in her 5 orb state, I'm pretty comfortable. I dropped the dogs. And this is pretty GG. Right? It doesn't matter if we're taking some damage here. All our dogs are pretty much just getting through with ease. And we have the flyer also making it through. And we're take out Regulus. So that's the way. Go ahead and beat that team. It's just poor placement, honestly speaking. And I'm going to replay this because I know I double hit this team just because it's A3 Ingrid. I just wanted to get it out the way so we're not having to worry about it later down the line. So I'm just going to speed run this one super, super quick. There we go. Right. So, yeah, poor placements overall. The honest way to go ahead and make this team better, don't use Paratus. And I know it sounds so like sacrilegious to just say don't use Paratus, but Paratus is just not helping in this meta as it is right now. Ingrid is the crown jewel in this position, right? She's good here because she does have her AoE and it will hit the spawn, which is ridiculous, but that's just how it works with her AoE. But yeah, there's not much to say. This is easily replicable. Also, putting Lily here is kind of troll. I feel like it just doesn't work. Like, it just wouldn't work. So, anyways, those were the attacks. We should be in Overlord, and we should be having some fun again. Anyways, see ya.